welcome to today's episode of Cooking with Elvee. I'm Elvee and today I'm going to share with you how to make beef empanadas. Now this is only my second time making beef empanadas in my life, but this last Christmas I had to bring something to my sister's house for Christmas dinner and I was really craving empanadas, so I was like, you know what? So I, got a bunch of things together and I threw it all in a pot and then hoped for the best, and it was delicious and everybody loved them. And so now I'm going to share the recipe with you guys, even though I don't exactly know what is the recipe. Because I learned how to cook from my mom, from watching my mom, who is Mexican, which, if you're Mexican, you know what that means. We don't measure anything, we just put and you just hope for the best.
You cook with your heart.
And it just comes out delicious every time. So that's what I did. So I don't exactly remember exactly what I used or how much of it. But today, I kind of eyeballed everything and pretty sure I got it right. So I'll let you know in the description box below the exact amounts that I used of all the ingredients, so you can check out the recipe there. Okay, let me stop rambling and show you everything you're going to need for this recipe. It's super simple,
super easy,
it's super delicious, and you know what? If you make these and you don't enjoy them, then there's something wrong with you. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm really gonna shut up now. Let's get to the recipe. Here I have almost 2 pounds of ground beef. I have these Goya empanada discs, which already come prepared. You're gonna find them in your frozen section. You just thaw them out like the day before you're going to make your empanadas. I also have some sazón goya. I got the one that's with culantro and achiote, so I'm gonna use 2 packs of those. And then here I have sofrito, which I got from a friend of mine. Like, she made it and she gave it to me, and I froze it, and now I'm using it. I froze it because it's not something that we normally use in cooking at my house, but for this I thought it was perfect, so I thawed that out too, and now we're going to use that. I'm pretty sure you can find some pre-made at your local grocery store. I also have here some spices to season our meat. We want that to be seasoned really well. I have oregano, I have cumin, I have chili powder, I have garlic powder and onion powder, and then I also have these bay leaves, which we're just going to throw in there whole just to give some extra flavor. And then I also have a can of tomato sauce, not tomato paste, this is tomato sauce. I'm going to start off with my heat on medium and just the tiniest bit of oil in my pan, and then I'm going to throw my meat in there. Just take your spoon or whatever you're using and break it up a little bit into big chunks. And we're going to get some color on our meat. A little bit of color on there before we start adding the rest of our ingredients. I'm going to put my heat up to medium-high. And I'm just going to continue to move it around and break it up with my spoon here. Once we got a good boil going on and there's about 70%, 80% of color on there, we're going to add our spices. So I'm going to go in with my garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, cumin, chili powder, and my sazón packets. I like these because they add a lot of color to the meat and they are packed with flavor. Stir that into your meat. After we let that cook for a couple minutes, I'm going to throw my bay leaves in there at this point also and just stir them into the meat. After all my spices are well incorporated into the meat, I'm going to add my tomato sauce. Just the whole can right on top. And I'm also going to add my sofrito on top of that and stir it into my meat. I'm gonna put it at medium low because I really want this to cook slow and I want all the juices to evaporate. And the longer that it cooks slowly, the more tender our meat is going to be. Before I let it be for a little bit, I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt on there. Go ahead and add as much as you'd like. And I'm gonna give it a stir once in a while. And we're just gonna let it cook until all of the juices are almost completely dried up. This is a spoon that I started with and it had, you know, raw meat on it. So now that I know that all the meat in here is cooked through, I washed my spoon so that I won't like keep putting any raw bits back into the cooked meat, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you do that. This is gonna take some time because we do, once again, want to evaporate all these juices, but it is gonna be so worth it. And it smells so good because there's so much flavor already packed into this meat. Now I used the onion powder and the garlic powder just to make it a little bit more of a simple recipe, but if you want to chop some onion and chop some fresh garlic and cook that with your meat instead of using the powder, that would be really nice. Also, chopping up some green bell peppers, red, yellow bell peppers into this would be really nice. Dicing up like potatoes really small would be really nice, or even putting in like peas and corn. Like you can fill anything, you can fill empanadas with anything and like you can't go wrong. It's gonna be so good. Honestly, that's what I love so much about cooking, is that you can take any recipe and make it your own. Like you don't have to use exact ingredients or exact measurements. You can customize every single recipe to your preferences and your likings and like what you have on hand. And as long as you're like, it sounds so cliche, but as long as you're cooking like from the heart, it's gonna come out good. Like, trust me. Like music. Food is just like a big experiment, but it's not like scientific. You know what I mean? It's not scientific like baking where you have to be exact. Otherwise, you know, your cake won't rise or your cream will separate. Like, it's not that scientific, you know? There's like so much room to just explore and experiment and make it your own without messing it up, you know? Like you can always fix it. If you like put, like for instance, this meat, if I like put way too much salt and it was so salty, just add a potato, dice up a potato, add it in there, it'll absorb the salt and it'll balance everything. If there's not enough salt, just add more salt, you know, a little bit at a time, taste it until it's right. It's so easy. Like cooking is just easy peasy lemon squeezy. I mean, it's not that serious, you know what I mean? And that's what I love about getting to cook with you guys, for you guys, and share recipes. I mean, the hardest part for me about doing this YouTube thing is just like I was talking to, like I touched a little bit on this earlier, it's just like measuring everything, like finding out like exactly how much I used of everything for it to be perfect, you know? Because in my house, like when I grew up watching my mom cook, we never measured anything. And so if I was like, Mom, like show me how to make this, she would just be like, she would just show me instead of like tell me. She would be, I don't know how much, just look, this is how much, you know? And so you learn how to cook with your eyes and you learn how to cook with your nose, and like you see something and you should know, like you learn to know, like that looks done, like that's how it looks when it's done. Or you smell something and you're like, oh, okay, it smells done, you know what I mean? And so it's just like a lot of trial and error. Like if you really want to cook, like you're just gonna keep trying things out until it's like right, you know what I mean? And it's not gonna take that long. You really can't fail. Just
trust the process.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I went on this little ramble because this meat taking forever. Just kidding. Okay, after my meat is done cooking, I like to put it in a colander over like some paper towels on a plate like this, because all the juices are evaporated, but there's still that like excess oil of the meat that I don't want to put into my empanadas, or else, you know, the oils will seep out and stuff, and it's just not cute. So I like to put it in here, you know, and then just so it's easier for me to grab from when I'm building my empanadas, you know, so I don't have to go back to the pan. And then I also have a spoon to scoop the meat, and I have a fork for building my empanadas, and then I have a little bit of flour here that I'm just gonna dust on my surface area here so that my discs don't stick to the table. And then also, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna build a few, like 3 or 4. I'm gonna put them in the oil in batches of 3 or 4. I put the oil here on the side to heat up. I put about 2 inches of oil in there, and then that's what we're gonna use to fry our empanadas in. So let me show you how to build a few, and then we will cook them. Come on down. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is dust my surface area a little bit, and then get one of the discs, put that down here, take a little scoop of my meat. Don't be stingy with the meat, y'all, okay? Because it's the best part. Nobody likes biting into an empanada and then there's like no meat. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna just fold it over, take your fingers and press along the sides. And then to seal it in, we're just gonna take a fork and get that. This is how you get that classic empanada look. Make sure you press tightly so that it doesn't open up when it's in the oil. And that is a little cute empanada. We'll put that on the side and I'll show you guys how to make another one. Just take your disc, fill it with some meat. I like putting about 2.5 spoons. Fold it over. Press down all the sides with your fingers. Nice and tight. Take your fork and press down on those edges to lock it in. Super easy, and it looks like you put in a lot of effort when in reality we didn't. Just gonna do one more for you and then I'm leaving. I'm just kidding. Once again, take some meat, fill it up, fold it over, press down on the edges with your finger, seal with your fork. Simple, beautiful, simple, beautiful, simple, beautiful, simple. Okay, now we're going to fry these. Okay, this looks kind of funny, but I put aluminum foil all over my stovetop because my mom's always yelling at me about how I get aceite everywhere. So, not today, mother. The way that I like to see if my oil is hot enough is I take a little bit of breadcrumbs and then I just throw them in there, and if they sizzle instantly like that, then we are good to go. You're gonna take your empanada and you're gonna carefully, please be very careful, lay them in there and lay it away from you. You see? I get so scared. Next. And one more. My heat right now is at medium. I'm gonna leave these on each side for about 2-3 minutes. We're just gonna let them get golden brown in color. We don't want them to be too dark and we don't want them to be too light, you know, just that perfect color. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're looking for. Look, they're getting some bubbles over here on this side, so I'm just gonna take my tongs and flip them over. Get the other side nice and toasty. I have a tray here on the side lined with paper towels, and I'm just gonna take them out and put them onto there. Okay, so you basically repeat that whole process a million times until you stink like oil. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I got a total of 15 empanadas out of that meat. But I mean, I guess you can get one more or less depending on how much you fill them up. And it is time for what we've all been waiting for. Okay, just what I've been waiting for. The taste test. Okay, I am going to try one of these. First of all, I just want to mention, don't judge my empanadas, okay? They are all different shades of brown, but it's because we're not professionals over here, okay? We are just regular old home cooks, and some are going to be darker than others, and that's okay. They are still all good, okay? Okay, let me try one. Which one do I want? I'm just kidding. I'm just going to take this one right here, and I'm going to bite into it. I'm sad I don't have like any salsa, but that is definitely a thing I recommend. You definitely need like a sauce or a salsa to go with these because it just amps it up. It makes it a million times better. Last time when I served these, I had served them with an avocado spicy salsa, and it was really good. And do you know what? It was so good. I'm gonna dedicate a whole video to it. That'll be for another time though. When it's done, I will link it down below of this video. Okay, let's go. Enough waiting. Okay, I've had enough. Should I bite it from here? I'm just kidding. No one does that. So excited. Yeah, it was really good. You want some? So crispy. As you see, I lost my balance there. It was so good. Crispy, and the meat is so flavorful and soft and tender. Can you see? Yeah. Okay, that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you try out this recipe, and if you do, please post a picture of it online and tag me in it on any of my social medias. They will be listed in the description box below. The full recipe is also listed in the description box below. I hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are, and God bless. But I guess, you know, you could get, Mom! I forgive you.